Kanye West, he came on the stage, he'd been drinking too much, he upset that little blonde scarecrow lady. And I was watching it, it's really funny because it was a little bit of my life. I was here, and I was thinking, oh, this is interesting. You know, like, because normally we know, like, if you're a person that gets in trouble a lot, it's kind of interesting when it's someone else getting in trouble. Oh, wow, fuck, this is going to fuck him up. Oh, you shouldn't do that, mate. Oh, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Oh, no, you're making a pretty girl cry. Oh, that's not a good look. It was funny for me to watch it, though. And also, it was fortuitous because it affected the amount of time I had to say the stuff that I was meant to say. Right, so I had to cut a load of what is called my links. So there was a load of stuff I was planning to say that never got said, never been said as a matter of fact. Would you like to hear those things? Good, because it's interesting. That's funny. I just see a thing that's coming up later that's funny. Oh, we've got some real treats in store. Lucky bastards. Right. Yeah, so this would have been a link. Now, do you know that thing that is called Twilight? Yeah, it's an alright thing. It's to do with vampires, isn't it? And it's entertainment for children. It's to distract us. So you watch the thing about Twilight and then you don't have to think about if you're sad or something. You think, oh, I should watch Twilight. Or you don't have to think like, oh, is society being incorrectly ordered? You just think, just watch Twilight. So like, I didn't know, particularly then, it's a couple of years ago, so I didn't even know what Twilight was, right? But like, I was hosting the MTV Awards, and remember when I'm doing that, I'm supposed to be like a normal person who cares about Twilight and everything. So it's difficult for me because I don't care about it. I don't think it's important to us. So I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. I'm not saying execute the cast of Twilight. That's not my message. I met them. I met that wolf boy with the abdominal muscles. Perfectly pleasant. Met the right, so he's nice. English one, nice, fine. It's just a worry that it might be not good for our brains. That's all. It's only a question. I don't know. I'm trying to work it out. We're all here together trying to work stuff out, aren't we? That's why we're here on the planet at the same time together this evening. So anyway, the MTV executives, I'm there at Radio City Hall in New York City trying to work out how I'm supposed to be. You know, when you're trying to do a correct face so that you don't look weird, like if you're a christening or you're a wedding of people you don't think will be married very long and you have to do the correct sort of face. Like I can look normal doing it. Like that, trying to organise your features into the correct face. Well, the MTV people said, hey, Russell, you're going to be introducing the Twilights. And I didn't know what the right reaction to that was. Like, oh, was that a bad thing? Fucking hell. Like, I don't know what it was. I thought it was a breakfast cereal. I was confused by the whole idea. But I picked up from their faces that enthusiasm was the correct response. Oh! Good. The Twilight's good. I'm so pleased that this is happening in my lifetime. What an honour to meet Twilights. Is it good? Thank you. But I mean, like Robert Pattinson, I know is very, very important for the children. Like he's like the Elvis of them, or the Frank Sinatra of them, or the Kurt Cobain of them. He's a thing that matters to them. But to me, Robert Pattinson, I don't know who the fuck he is. So I don't know. Look, Robert Pattinson, be pleased. I don't know how to react to it. It's like, you know, it's an important thing. I'm being retrospectively told it's important. Like if someone said, oh my God, look, it's Shizmet, Bulgaria's #1 pop star. Give a fuck. He might be good. I'm not criticising Shizmet. He's probably brilliant. Shizmet. I'm an electro pop sensation. Robotics. See-through air. Might be important. So here is the link. Bearing in mind that I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Now you can judge whether or not this would have got me into trouble. For this, I'll be playing the part of me. You play the part of the MTV VMA audience in the year that this was. I don't recall anymore. But what you'll do is you're basically you, but you're probably less. You're not as clever as you are now. So here it is. Pretend you're there. So you're just sort of, you're basically feeling happy, but you're lethargic. You've probably, perhaps you've taken some drugs. That's right. I'm the same as me, but I'm trying to be more simple. I'm not trying to communicate complicated ideas about the nature and role of media and how it's used to subdue us and make us stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying simple things like this. Hello! This has been been the year of the vampire, with millions of us flocking to the cinema to watch Twilight. Us, like I fucking went. With millions of us flocking to the cinema to watch Twilight, the story of a teenage girl and a vampire falling in love. Right, so that's the setup to show that I know what Twilight's about. So the audience go, oh, he knows what Twilight's about. We can trust him in spite of... There's something weird about him, but he knows what Twilight's about. We can trust him. That's what they're thinking. You are the audience, you're thinking that now because of what I said. I imagine there are pros and cons to dating a vampire. Now that's the introduction of a comedic idea. You now know that I'm perhaps going to discuss some of the pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of dating a vampire? You're beginning to think that now because that's what the narrative of the joke is instructing you to do. On the downside, you can only see him at night and you'll never have that church wedding. Now what I'm doing there, that's not particularly funny, but I'm demonstrating that I understand what a vampire is. Oh yeah, you would only see him at night. Oh, you wouldn't have a church wedding. It's whimsical rather than funny. I'm inveigling you. You're becoming sort of intrigued by me. You're thinking, oh yeah, this guy, he's hosting the MTV Awards. Last year he said that thing about George W. Bush and I wanted to kill him. But maybe I can trust him now. He seems to care about Twilight. On the downside, so remember what we're watching out for is whether or not this would have elicited death threats, whether or not this is so rude and disgusting it should never have been said. On the downside, you can only see him at night and you'll never have that church wedding. But on the upside, if you are ever caught short without the necessary sanitary products... That's not the offensive bit. Your caring and sensitive partner will be only too pleased to help. That's also not the offensive bit. Let your worst period be his time of the month. That's still not the offensive bit. And if you think that was offensive, now that's good writing. Because if they do think, say you're thinking, hey, that's offensive, then I go, if you think that's offensive, you think, fucking hell, he can read my mind. I trust him again. And if you think that was offensive, think how I felt when I caught Robert Pattinson in the ladies' toilets with his hand in that little bin by the toilet. Robert, that's not for us! What did you think they were? Herbal tea bags? That's the offensive bit. So had Kanye West drank a bit less, that would have got said out loud.